celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life with Sterling Fox on AM 650.
Welcome back to the program. Boomer Life this time around is all about diamonds. Stephen Benoliel is with us from Canadian Estate Diamonds and Canadian Noble House Diamonds. And Stephen, I kind of indicated we were going to talk about fluorescence when we came back from the break. But you've got a story to tell us and to lead us into this whole discussion of fluorescence. And I'm just going to throw it to you. The story begins with two AM 650 listeners who have heard a broadcast listening to you, and they've decided to bring a diamond to you that was won in a poker game. So why don't you take it from there? I like the story already, by the way.
Thanks, Sterling. These two lovely ladies came to our office with a 4-carat diamond that the uncle had won in a card game. And she was, I guess, had worn it for many years and was wondering as to its value. And so when I took it to examine it, I, as is a standard step, put it under a ultraviolet light to check to see if it was fluorescent, and it was. It glowed blue under the light, and I told them that what fluorescence is, and that in some ways it had become a way that people tried to either get an advantage in the price of buying a diamond or avoided it, and it really wasn't and shouldn't be the case in the purchase of a diamond. About 30% of all diamonds do glow under an ultraviolet light.
Oh, so it's a kind of a normal thing then.
That's right. And
okay.
the range of how much they glow can determine if it really has any effect on the diamond's value. For instance, a diamond that's lower color will actually look better in sunlight if it's ultraviolet, or if it's fluorescent.
Okay.
And fluorescence can hurt a diamond if it's very strong, in which case a diamond can become milky or oily. But those kind of diamonds don't usually even get to our market. They're rejected by any diamond dealer overseas prior to even entering Canada. So it is today, anybody who's buying a quality diamond is buying a diamond that's graded by the American Gem Society or the Gemological Institute of America. And it's always noted on the certificate that it has no fluorescence, or it's negligible, or all the way to strong. And it really can only affect it really in a monetary sense once it gets to strong. So, in fact,
so the stronger the fluorescence, the likely reduced value of that particular stone.
That's right. And that would be in the range perhaps of 5%.
Okay.
On the flip side, if it's a low color in the IJK range, you should actually add a few percent, because it's making that diamond look better than it is face up in the sunlight.
Okay.
So I would say most people shouldn't be concerned with it. There was a Canadian who discovered a diamond mine in Tanzania called the Williams Mine, and a large proportion of the diamonds that came out of that mine were termed blue white because they were fluorescent. And that mine was never in the hands of De Beers, and it's still producing today in the alluvial fields surrounding it. And they're having difficulty selling the diamonds because some segments of society won't buy them just because it says on the certificate strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I said earlier that in the Bible it says when you buy a camel, you should always say 2 bad things about it before making an offer.
All right.
Well, that's often the way of buying a diamond, and people rely on the information in front of them on a certificate. And the ones that try to knock the price on fluorescence, well, they're doing the right thing as a buyer. You're always trying to get the best price that you can.
Of course.
But as a seller, I would say that it's as often an advantage as opposed to the few times it's a disadvantage. So people shouldn't turn down a diamond because it has fluorescence.
Okay, good to know. Now, back to the two women. They've got the 4-carat diamond. Mm-hmm. You've put it under a UV light, and you've determined that there is fluorescence. What strength of fluorescence did this particular stone have? Was it strong, or was it a sort of a mild fluorescence?
It was pretty strong, but because the body color of the the diamond was already in an IJK, it just helped it. So when you looked at that diamond in the ring and it was still in the ring, it looked beautiful. So I didn't see for their cause that it was a disadvantage at all.
So how much was the ring worth? The guy won the ring in a poker game. How much was it worth?
Right. I would say at a retail level, somewhere, if you went to a Burke's, $50,000 to $100,000.
Holy cow. That's a
Yeah.
pretty high stakes game that guy was in.
It was.
Holy smokes. So when the women discovered the value that this could represent, what did they want done? Did they take the stone back, or did they decide cut it in? What was the purpose of the visit besides an appraisal?
Yeah, I think really it was she was trying to find out exactly what it was she'd had. I'm sure through the years she'd had different opinions given to her, and it had a few nicks around the edges, so I advised her that one day it should be recut.
Right.
Because anybody buying it with a few chips on it's going to try and knock the price down quite a bit. And I said, as far as the fluorescence in this diamond, well, it's just going to be something that makes you glow in the dark at a disco. And she said, Stephen, they don't have discos anymore.
Okay, so I'm a little off on that. But what is fluorescence, Stephen? What is that factor in the stone? What causes it?
It's impure. It's a small impurities in the diamond, and they have something to do with radiation.
Oh.
And not to the point where you need to worry about wearing the diamond. Most diamonds that fluoresce blue, but there are others that go every color of the rainbow. And looking at a parcel of smalls with under ultraviolet light can be beautiful. They're all glowing, and in fact, in some cases, some diamonds have photoluminescence. And there are other diamonds that are actually have color change. Very, very rare, but they can change their color subtly from one form of light to another.
Because of the fluorescence.
That's right.
Interesting.
So the Hope diamond is a blue diamond, and under ultraviolet it glows red. So you can see diamonds glowing yellow and red and pink and green, and I really think that there's a whole market that's being missed, which is the under ultraviolet. They're beautiful.
I'll bet they are. So now, what did these women decide to do once they discovered, holy smokes, this is worth a stack of cash? What did they want to do with the diamond?
She just kept it. I think she took the information to heart, and either it'll go on to one of her relatives down the road, or maybe one day she'll decide to sell it. And I think I gave her the right advice in repairing it at the very least down the road, or even recutting it to a modern brilliant is something that she could consider or should consider. And we had fun. I think she was happy with what she learned, and I was happy meeting them.
I want to talk more about the certificates surrounding the diamonds, the Gemological Institute of America, and so on. But on the matter of appraisal, I'm a big fan of the Antiques Roadshow, and I love the moment when the guy bought something for $8 at a flea market and discovers it's worth $85,000 or something like the jaw actually drops and hits the table. Those moments are priceless. So this happens from time to time when people come to Canadian Estate Diamonds and say, well, I'm curious, what do you think this is worth? And you tell them, as was the case with these two women, I bet you they probably just about hit the floor when you told them the actual value.
Well, I hope so. I think when somebody's got a 4-carat diamond, they're aware that there's quite a bit of value there.
So the difference between appraisal for the purposes of purchasing, which is what you do, and appraisal for the purposes of insuring something, is there a difference in the dollar value, and how significant is that?
It's very significant. The reason being that an insurance appraisal is to protect the consumer 5 years out. That covers the price of an increase in gold and diamonds, in a currency fluctuation. If you think of a Canadian dollar at a 108 exchange rate today and 1.60 15 years ago, diamonds are always bought and sold in U.S. dollars, or rather bought in U.S. dollars. So that can affect the value. And the looming world shortage in the big and the beautiful is going to pleasantly surprise a lot of people going forward. But that it's not in the small or inexpensive diamonds. It's diamonds above a carat in high quality. So I guess that if there's a lesson there, you should buy all the diamond that you can afford at the outset in terms of size and quality, but I don't think it should be bought entirely as an investment. It should be, as I've said to you, like a painting on the wall. If you love it and it's something you can enjoy for the rest of your life, and it's accruing value, then it's a good investment. But just to buy it for the investment
and put it in a
side
bank vault, how enjoyable is that painting?
Exactly, and you're usually buying retail and having to sell wholesale, so you should look at it more as a quality of life purchase, and maybe you get lucky because the world is running out of diamonds.
Well, this is really valuable information, no pun intended, but of course we're talking about a rather valuable commodity to begin with. But some of the consumer information that you always bring to the table, Stephen, is really important. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll come back. We'll talk about investment diamonds and certificates and all of the ingredients that goes into making a smart diamond purchase. Our guest from Canadian Estate Diamonds and Canadian Noble House Diamonds, both here in Vancouver, is Stephen Benoliel on Boomer Life on AM 650, and we'll be right back.
It's all about the baby boomer lifestyle. Boomer Life on AM 650.